What are your qualifications?
Well, I initially are. I'm a graduate of Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
Quit picking your nose, Clark. Let's go. Look alive. Coming to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now is the time where myself and Jim are going to speak. Ta-da-da! Well, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Another week.
Dude, I don't, they just keep letting us in the door.
I'm always surprised. My pass works every day.
It's weird.
It's been a busy week for me.
Yeah.
A lot of turnover for me.
A lot of turnover, I heard, and some new faces, and your buddy got promoted.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I've been able to test out some new features with the videos. And
yeah, he was talking your praises and your curses at the same time today.
You're listening.
Of course I am.
It's so for those that don't know, Spence Check has just got promoted to his own show here at ESPN 700. I'm really happy for him. His comeback story is really great, and he's been really nice to me over the last few months, kind of adding me to his podcast. So I've been really fortunate to work with him and have him around, and he's really taken a liking to me and just an interest to my life, so I've been really appreciative of having him around. And, you know, it's been interesting because I've started this whole video series here at the station, and the president of the company is as soon as, like, Spence joined the program, he got the Real Media guys who work here, who are the video guys for Real, and they've been kind of taking an interest because they want video to go throughout the entire station. They want every podcast to have video. They want every station to have video.
That's the way it's going.
And so 700's their testing ground. So they're having me do all this more stuff with 700, more lighting, more of that kind of stuff to make it a little bit more impressive. So to see if they can entice the other stations to do the same. So
nice.
It's been kind of fun.
Stop playing with that. You're going to drive me crazy, dude.
Sorry, I'll move it over there.
Sheesh. What are you,
also
7?
in the studio again? She's back, better than ever.
Emily's back, but she doesn't matter.
Emily,
I don't count.
She doesn't count.
I turned your mic all the way up, if you've noticed. So now you're the same level as us. So you're not so quiet.
I'm not so quiet.
No, we can actually hear you. So it sounds like you're actually in the same room with us. Emily, how are you doing? It's been 2 weeks since I've seen you.
I am doing well.
It's also been 2 weeks since I've seen you. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm doing fine.
You're just doing fine?
I went to California and went to the OC Fair.
Yeah, I saw you went to California. How was that?
That was fun.
Yeah,
just
randomly.
I took my kids. Yeah, mini vacation before school starts.
When does school start?
Monday.
Oh,
time to start sloughing.
I know, right? I'm not going back.
Don't do it, dude.
I'm done. I'm done with it.
Sloughing, dude. I'll slough with you, dude. I'll hang out.
All right, Jim. We also have a special guest here. Do you want to introduce your friend?
Well, that's funny because I actually met my friend in school, 7th grade, I believe.
7th grade.
Which was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
3,
we'll take that.
4 years ago, I met. Back then, it was a different name, and then it changed, and then it changed again when you got married. And
nice try.
And so now it's Angie Shupe Thompson.
Yes.
But I just call you Shupe.
Yes.
And why do I call you Shupe?
That was Mr. Ohai still.
Yeah. Coach Ohai, I think,
Coach
wrestling
Ohai.
coach. Shout out to Coach Ohai. Respect.
So Jim's actually known even a third name because he was around before I got adopted.
Yeah.
So I got adopted. So in high school, I just became Shupe because it was my last name.
It was a Spider-Man thing that he has. Web. But that's no longer her name, so now she's Shupe.
Oh, okay.
So just Shupe.
So, yeah, but now Shupe it's ironically enough, we grew up and we've been friends for 30 years, and she went along, and now she's a big-time producer with Kineto Films or Kineto Pictures.
Kineto Pictures.
Pictures, not films, because you don't do the films, you do the pictures. What's
the difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah, for those that just kind of like me that don't know the difference.
Oh, you do know the difference. So I guess, I talked to Trav about that before I came in.
Travis Babcock, your business partner?
No, not a business partner.
Oh.
I'm his one and only employee. So this is his company.
I try to make it sound bigger.
No, I am not a partner. I did not give him any money to be a part of that company. He actually took a chance on me because I came back from a construction background, kept getting laid off. And so he said, come talk to me. because I'm tired of seeing you get laid off over and over again on Facebook. So we sat down, we had a talk, and he said, you know what? You could do this producing
So, like,
stuff.
posting all that stuff on Facebook actually might get you a job?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you pour your heart out and sob enough, someone might actually give you a phone
So
call.
I'm sorry, but I'm just enjoying this Kodiak cake, chocolate peanut butter brownie that I was so lucky to get from our sponsor.
From Kodiak Cakes.
Kodiak Cakes, and it's a simple put it in the microwave, and it comes out a Kodiak cake of deliciousness.
Muffins.
It's a muffin. Is that what that is?
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
we have 4 different flavors here. We
Let
got
me
a
take
whole.
a bite.
I got
Hold
a whole box from sent from Kodiak Cakes. We got blueberry. We got poppy seed almond, which
Did they
I will
bring
not,
milk?
I did not. They did
Okay.
not bring milk. It did not come in the carton. But we have poppy seed almond, which I didn't bring, and Tammy will have her heyday with that because I can't have it. We have blueberry. We have regular dark chocolate brownie mix,
Chocolate fudge.
and then Emily has cinnamon apple.
Yeah, apple cinnamon.
Oh, I was wrong.
Okay.
So, yeah, we want to thank Kodiak Cakes for being our first sponsor. We got nothing like having Kodiak Cakes in movies, you know?
movies. What'd you call it? Muffins and muffins?
Yeah, muffins and
Muffins.
muffins.
Muffins and muffins?
We got muffins and muffins.
I love it.
So, we had our guest. She brought in a request for Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's brought me a DVD of one of the original DVDs of Punch Drunk Love with Adam in the blue suit on the front of it.
Yeah,
And
with
she
the
wants-
additional sleeve, and you get to sign it.
Yeah, she wants me to sign it.
Put
And
your name on
Make
it.
sure he
We'll sign
signs
it.
the right place. Where do you exactly want him?
where
to
did you want me to sign this thing? Right on Adam's nose?
Would Adam appreciate that?
No?
No.
If he ever listened to this and he was just like,
Hey.
and we got to that point, then I would actually appreciate it. If-
I almost forced your brothers to come in with you because I haven't seen
I
them
can get him to sign
since-
this and get this back to you.
I think that would be awesome.
I could make that happen.
Okay.
So
I've owned that DVD since before I even realized that you were in it. I actually bought it and then saw that you were in, and I was kind of like, oh crap, that's my wait,
I know that guy.
those 3.
So here's a fun thing I wanted to talk about with you coming on, because you're all like, well, more behind the scenes. What am I going to talk about? And so you do a lot of producing, which means you put together a lot of the shooting schedules. You put together a lot of the scripts. You do a lot of the organizing part of it. And I know my loose organization probably drives you crazy. And so I wanted to talk about when I asked you to do this, and you kept asking for more information and more. And I said, just roll with it.
There is no
Just
information.
roll with it. How as a producer did that make you itch?
A lot
Why?
because I'm used to a list.
A list of what?
I need my list.
What list?
My crazy list.
But this is it.
I know.
This is what we do, right, Brady?
Oh yeah. Usually when we first started, I was a little bit more structured.
You wanted lists.
I had lists.
And I'm like, Brady, this is the show.
Yeah, I had a structure, and I realized quickly that it just we can't have a railing with Jim and I.
No.
Jim and I is our
Gemini.
fictional character. It's Gemini. He does a lot of amazing things.
Am I drawing you, Gemini?
If you'd like.
I would love to.
Yeah, draw Gemini. We'll put it up on the. We need because I also have been talking to Brady about doing more of the video stuff that we do as well that I can put up and kind of show some of the funnier bits.
And I want to address that. The reason why we haven't been doing the videos is because I've been trying to. This company is setting up a podcasting studio with cameras and stuff like that. So I've been kind of just holding off the video process of that before until we can get that going, which should be like in the next month or so.
Awesome. But it'll be fun, and we can just make more content for the. So it's fun with the podcast because now it's going from what is that to okay, I've heard of that. Now I've talked to people say I've heard that, and I'm like, what? You heard that?
It's. And Jim, you're actually using Facebook the right way. I remember when we first started, you didn't understand how to switch accounts to go from Jim.
I did that on accident.
So, and now he's posting things to other places, and it's like, I don't know. It's
noticed.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm all grown up.
Jim is growing up.
Seeing Jim's progress through the 20 weeks. This is episode 20. We said it last week,
but we were wrong.
We were so wrong.
It was only 19.
It was 19.
See, that's how much organization we have
I
over
don't
here.
even get the adult 21. I get 20.
We don't. 20 is a
You
big deal.
robbed me.
20's a big deal.
But you get a special place in my heart because you bailed us out this week.
Oh, yeah.
We had our first back out. We have never had a back out, and we finally had one where, and it wasn't like something popped up. He had no clue that he was supposed to be on this week and had no plans of being here. And
I thought I sent out.
Oh, you did.
Okay, I was like
It's
the
fine.
notifications. The one thing the one thing that I am very good at planning wise is just booking the guests.
That's right.
So on our Google Calendar, I make sure to send out a notification, an email a week before. The exact time, and then the day before, an hour before, and a half hour before.
Yep.
So you should get notifications all the time. So if you accepted it, and if you're a guest listening and you have not done that, then I would suggest, because next week, and I hope she's listening, Chelsea Goodwin is our guest next week.
She'll be here.
So
it's just weird. I mean, it was bound to happen.
I mean, we got so many offers,
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Like,
it's not a big deal. I just called someone else. And in this case, I called Angie. And Angie, so I want to talk about because you do more corporate videos, but you guys have also done stuff. I know you've done stuff for The Daily Show. You got, that was before you came on. Yeah, but Travis did stuff for The Daily Show. And but you guys have got a lot when you walk into your studio space, the whole front section is just awards. How many of those have you been a part of?
The awards?
Yes.
3.
3 of them. For what?
ADT, actually.
ADT.
ADT.
Whatever happened to
security.
my ADT commercial that I did as a part of?
that was actually the sister company production one. They have gone through some really big
See, this is what happens when a producer has to tell you we cut
corporate.
it. And instead of just telling me that it was crap and they cut it, they have to tell me, well,
the whole project was cut. It had nothing to do with you. You were hilarious.
Well, thank you.
Hilarious.
And I got to work with Jeremy Warner he was with CTV, and now he does a different sketch show.
What is he doing now?
He's doing a different sketch show. They're getting some national attention, though. So it's really nice to see he's doing well.
And Trey Warner was your other little coworker.
Yeah, Trey's funny.
He is.
I didn't even know who he was until I worked with him, and then
that was fun.
Yeah.
So a little backspin. We did a comedy piece where Trey Warner played a cab driver, and he would pick up different people. And Jim and Jeremy, excuse me, were artisan pickle makers. So they were in a cab trying to sell pickles.
Wait, okay, they're artists and
artisan
pickle makers?
Pickle makers.
Artisan pickle.
Okay. I was like, they're artists and pickle makers.
Artisan pickle makers.
Okay,
pickle makers.
Those two things are very different.
Yes.
I'll share some pictures of Jim behind the scenes. It's fun. So
it'd be even funny like if you were an artist that dealt with pickles.
Pretty close. That was my motivation because I didn't know what artisan was either. So I went art.
It's like I just make sculptures out of pickles. It's a niche thing.
It's a fancy pickle. It's a tasty pickle, actually. No, it was fun. We drove around on the back and
the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer, and I had to have the seat right in my lap so that the camera could see me. And we drove around and then Jeremy had to get somewhere to go, so we had to rush it real quick, but it was a lot of fun. It was just driving around
we had a whole block.
Yeah, just round
sessioned
and around
off.
and around.
We had a police escort. We had all the right permits. We did not do it wrong.
And when the cops were there at first, I was a little worried.
Cops were with us.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't do it.
Looking at you.
I didn't do it.
How does one go about getting
a permit?
Yeah, just for
call the city.
Yeah, just call the city. Is it easy as it sounds?
It's really not that bad. It just depends on the time and how much disruption you want.
So if I wanted to cut off like Main Street in Salt Lake City,
we've done it for USANA. We cut off Main Street for 2 hours in a crosswalk. I think the permit was $500.
Wow, it's like
for a 30-second literal close-up of feet walking across the street. In slow motion. So we had a dolly track that went across the whole thing, and lighting and billboards. Well, not billboards, but large signs that if you're crossing a street, your feet are going to be a part of this project. So didn't have to worry about releases from everyone. But it was a lot of fun.
Free
and
extras.
We've done those, but you just be kind. And you say please, and you say thank you, and you just learn who to talk to, because if you talk to the wrong person, you're not going to get anywhere. So
interesting.
when you use manners and
yes, that's
you
why we
become
can't.
their
That's why it
friend.
doesn't work, Brady.
I have terrible,
Yeah, it wouldn't
terrible
work for
manners.
us.
I just kind of just do
Hey,
things
jerk.
and just show
Hey,
up.
jerk face.
Well, it's funny because
Face.
the reason why I brought it up because
Not
last
that
week we had a very funny story of our guests. They
did not have a permit.
They-
I listened to your
Oh,
podcast.
well,
so
appreciate
See, I
it.
told you
can't
people
get
are
muss
listening.
behind- You
This
can't
is-
get too much.
This
around
is
me.
this is like new things because every time for a few guests we've had they have no idea what we're doing here, so we're just like on a previous show
Previously
and they don't know, but those that
the
listen
movie hour.
they'll appreciate this story because now they can that's how we can fix on that issue, and a lot of our listeners are young movie creators, so
right.
it's good for them to
actually talk to someone that actually does it by the book rather than
Oh,
just
yeah.
run in and.
You
just
know, and
with
it
the
just
camera.
makes things
But to
easier
have,
in
how
the long
funny
run.
would that be though to be filming a robbing scene, a heist scene, and
That
have
made me
somebody
laugh so hard.
try to break into the place you filming to break into.
She has a story amongst stories. I mean, I guess the closest thing that I've seen was in LA having a cup of coffee with my kids, and I'm on vacation, and I send a photo to Travis, and I'm like, so I can log hours now because I'm watching a movie just unfold in the matter of 20 seconds in the middle of downtown LA. All of a sudden, a truck pulls out. They just unload. Boom. 30
They're going.
seconds later, lights are on and they're filming. And I was like, that is
dope.
the best gaffing crew I've ever seen. Because in Utah, it's like,
Yeah, we'll get
half
there.
hour in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Talent's gonna
time's
get here
ticking.
soon. We might want to
Mhm.
set
Yeah.
something up.
Something.
I just
Yeah.
thought of a great movie idea.
Okay.
Just that whole scenario, of actually getting robbed, but actually having it happen in
Right.
the movie. You're actually shooting a movie, and then the robber just coming in and
You don't know you're being robbed
and
while
she's
you're
like, wow,
filming.
this is great. This is actually they're doing a really good
So
job.
realistic.
How much are we paying for those people? They're taking our
They're
camera.
great.
Like, wow, this is really fourth wall breaking. I didn't even think of that.
It's actually not a bad idea for a TV show.
Groundbreaking.
You could make it into a full-on series
Right.
where the luck of this crew just keeps getting robbed
Wherever they
over
go.
and over and over again, and they just can't make a break.
The insurance company thinks they're ripping them off.
No,
You-
we just really like making heist movies,
love it.
just all the time.
All right, so we kind of stopped because that's what happens is we
Right.
don't ever get so. Now, which one are you most proud of, and which one you think went under the radar and wasn't appreciated?
As far as my work
Yeah,
goes,
stuff that you've worked on.
that's tough. I think my most appreciated was the slow. No, hold on, let me think.
Okay.
I'll go back. Probably the most fun that I had working on was Splinters of a Nation documentary. It was a period piece, 1945. I did casting with the help of Michaela, but I did 100% of the location.
Michaela Johnson? Michaela.
I just forgot her last name.
Ah.
She lives in Nantucket. We're not too worried about her.
Nantucket.
Nantucket. So she helped out with casting, but I helped her out with wardrobe. We worked with Ray. Am I forgetting? I am so bad with names.
They're just
I will
so
know
popular.
Your face.
There's just
No,
Ray and Michaela and
I will know your
They're like
face until
Cher.
I'm dead,
Yeah,
and I won't
exactly.
remember your name. So Ray actually is a part of a World War II conglomerate, and he has these kids that work and do. There's Ben Johnson, there's Aaron, and I forgot Aaron's last name, and there's Nate and his cute wife, and I can't remember their
Adorable
last name.
couple.
They just.
But what was
yeah,
it about
anyway.
then? Let's just
So,
go.
Splinters of a Nation was a documentary about the concentration camps, is kind of a kind word, but the camps that were here in Utah
Right.
when Germans deflected. And so we brought all the Germans. England didn't want them. No one else want them. So U.S. was like, I guess we'll take all of the prisoners of war of World War II Germans, brought them and scattered them throughout the United States. The least, you want to say, like, just the guys that were there doing whatever it was for their country. They weren't neo-Nazi fascists, were kind of sent here to farm. So Scott Porter put together this amazing story. He went and did all of these incredible interviews, and it all started with his grandmother who worked on a farm, and they had these POWs working on their farm every day. So he decided to put together all these stories. He hired us to do the recreations. So the Salina camp down in Salina, Utah,
Is it Salina or Salina?
Oh, it is Salina.
I think it's
It is Salina. Thank you.
That's all right.
I'm
very
Utah,
intelligent.
and I should know how to pronounce all of our Thule and Twila. Yes. Salina. Yes. Anyway, one of the soldiers down there decided that because he had never been able to kill a Nazi during the war, that he would just open fire on this poor camp. So he climbed up in the middle of the night, opened fire on all the tents, and that was probably like the coolest scene I've ever had to work on. I actually got to work on the special effects with blowing up sand and learning how to do all of that.
Ninja!
And, and learning blood and everything. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So kind of my first like throw in the fire, work all night shoots, but the preparation on that was incredible.
Awesome. Those are the ones where if you ever get on set for a night shoot, it's basically you have until the sun comes up to get all your shots, and then once the sun comes up, it's over.
Done.
So there's a ticking like time. We were doing that pretty much all through Punch Drunk. All of our scenes were at night, and so we would get home probably around 8 or 9 when the sun's up, and that's when we'd go to bed, and the hotel staff would keep banging on the doors going, do you want stuff changed? Like you want, and we're like, we just got to bed, please leave. And they didn't understand it at all. And we had to have production like tell them like, leave them alone. It's the only time they get to sleep. So the night shoots it's a different life.
So we were out in the middle of the desert. I know that there's like a scuba diving pond out there where she's got just this water caverns that go underneath the salt flats. She's west of Twila. Anyway, we recreated. We hired a construction company to come out, build a two-story tower. We had original
Are you talking
weapons.
like me, a two-stower?
Two-stower.
Two-stower? Out in Salina.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's right.
We had original tents. We had original weapons. It was all about safety and making sure that everything was safe.
And where did you show it? Like
So it was a PBS documentary. He worked with them. He got funding from them. It took him 5 years to do it. Incredible. It's on DVD. I can loan it to you if you'd like to.
What is it called again?
Splinters of a Nation.
Splinters of a Nation.
By Scott Porter.
I'm always curious.
Tonight at 7 p.m. on PBS, Splinters of a Nation.
For the like when you shoot these timepieces, how much preparation goes into the fact that like kind of making sure that there's nothing like planes going overhead or just like those things that like just making sure like you don't.
How do you get a permit for that?
An old car.
So
we don't want planes to fly over.
Cars are actually the hardest thing for me to find. Luckily, through Facebook, I found car nuts, and I was like, I need an ambulance. I need this car.
I got one.
We got creative. So there was a scene out in Twila. We just did it out in the desert. One of those stories took place in Twila with two guys that tried to take off and run to Mexico. They actually got caught.
All right.
We had original Jeeps.
That's rad.
It was awesome. So we filmed this drone footage out in the middle of the desert.
They didn't have drones back in World War II.
They did not.
I don't know if you knew that or not. I did. They didn't have drones.
Yeah. But it was kind of fun. No, my dad saved a bunch of his crap from World War II. So I had canteens and all sorts of shit.
That's so cool.
All that time and energy to put into it. And how long is it?
It was a 90 minute.
90 minutes, right?
It was awesome. But our recreations
5 years to make it.
were, well, a lot of that was his interviews, though. Like, he flew to Germany and he talked to original dudes. And
that's cool.
It's really cool story.
Well, which one of yours, just really quickly, which one of yours did you make that you thought was going to be the coolest thing and nothing, just drop? All that
probably
work.
our Taiwan shoot for a company that's out there. It's a little exercise company called Intenza, and I'm not sure what happened, but it would have been better if I would have had... I had a really good interpreter, but the company didn't understand what we were doing. So the language barrier really caused problems. We wanted to do a period piece where he talked about how his father raised him to be a hard worker. And when we got around his dad, this 80-year-old dude just couldn't handle 2 American young girls being in the same room. And the entire, all we got out of him was, so can I have their phone number? And when are we going to like go out and eat with these two? And it was just like, no, I just want you to talk about your son for like 3 minutes, but it never happened.
Hey, honey.
So, and that one just kind of flopped.
And that's
it
when
wasn't
that's when Angie found out about sexism
That's when you found out.
in Taiwan.
in Taiwan.
It's like, wow.
I
Well,
got to see Shu on that, though. That was awesome.
Shu?
Shu.
Shoe.
You forgot who Shu is?
Yeah. What's Shu? Did we go to school with Shu?
Yes. He was also my very good friend.
Is he the one that would always wear like the weighted shoes and
So
do
you
all
call
the
him Shu?
ninja stuff during school? Who was that?
Shu was his real Chinese name.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Whenever he would sign anything, though, he would just sign like a drawing of a shoe. He and I had Mr. Bill's classes together.
Okay.
Like he was a big artist.
Who was the one that did all the ninja stuff? Now I have to go back to my pull out the old high school with the yearbook.
Yeah, that's what those are called.
Where everyone says don't change.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't change. See you this summer.
You're rad.
Love
You're
you.
rad.
Yeah, and then nobody ever called me.
Oh,
Shut your dirty mouth. I did too.
And I was raised alone.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is
That
cool.
was
See,
that story I was really quiet because I was just like I loved
well,
hearing
everyone else is talking about their
background.
movies. They're like, we snuck in and we hurried and shot it and got out before the cops got theirs. And then someone's like, we spent 5 years trying to put together, funding and interviews, and like, oh,
What's
crap,
the
wow.
what's the biggest difference between documentary filming and actually feature filming?
Haven't done a feature.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, they mostly do the other kinds that everyone else that
We
we've
do
talked
your
to
commercials
Yeah.
Okay.
that you watch on TV. We
Okay.
do your Facebook ads that some people watch.
And she's getting really good at the like your explosion behind you and Travis.
That was our Christmas card for
Yeah,
2016.
that was rad.
That was the 2016.
That was rad. And then you just did another one with the Big Lebowski
That was his birthday gift.
birthday.
Travis is a very spoiled young individual. I've made him a few things.
He's not young.
you know what also has
No,
explosions?
he's older than us.
Yeah.
You know what also has explosions?
Top Gun!
Top Gun.
Oh, and that other movie that you made me watch,
That
Dredd.
other movie I made you watch. We'll get to Dredd in a second.
Painful.
That's because you don't understand awesome movies.
I do understand.
No, it's fine. You don't have to.
awesome
It's okay. You don't
movies.
have to understand awesome movies but you're okay with Top Gun, but not Dredd.
Top Gun has Tom Cruise.
Top Gun is terrible.
Top Gun has a funny story. There's
No, it
more of a
doesn't.
story.
I
There
was-
was no story with Dredd. It was just walk in, and then all of a sudden, I'm watching Cersei over her empire getting
Nope.
destroyed once again.
Nope.
It's Cersei.
This happened
What-
first.
This happened first.
We should have seen it
It's
coming.
the same thing. Yeah.
Was not.
I honestly thought Top Gun was a the critically acclaimed movie.
Top Gun. No, it's not.
I know, that's why I was like,
No,
like I
Top
said,
Gun is
if
a
you listen,
fluff piece.
if you watched last week, you know that I didn't see Top Gun up until, and I wanted to watch it this week. Full disclosure, I didn't watch it this week either. So
Failure.
So you don't get to decide if it's a fantastic piece or a fluff piece that has
All I know-
erotic volleyball scene between all the half naked men.
all I know
forget
is that
Tom.
it's 55% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie. It's not good. I don't know why it has a sequel. To be honest,
That's why I thought it was good.
it's a terrible movie.
Okay.
It's
How
it's
is
about
it terrible?
it is
So cheesy.
it's so
It's
cheesy,
cheesy,
and
but
it
it's
doesn't hold
eighties
up.
cheesy.
Yeah,
And
does
it
it-
doesn't
Even
hold
for
up
me, and
whatsoever.
I love cheesy movies. But
Are
it
you
doesn't.
all about 80s cheesy though?
Is it like Arnold cheesy, or is it?
No, it's worse than that.
Okay.
No, it's more along the lines of they don't get the actual Air Force correctly. The planes are incorrect. What they can do is incorrect. The terminology is incorrect, and then the bromances that are going on are just stupid. And it's mostly about Tom Cruise looking pretty, getting the
putting
girl,
his diddle in the girl.
Yeah, getting the girl, and because he's a rebel, he's able to do what he's not supposed to do because everyone doesn't see that he's a leader. He ends up
Maverick.
He's Maverick. And then if you watch the new movie, where the promotions for it, once again, you should have been a 3-general bird by now, or 3-bird
He's an
general.
asshole.
Yeah, he sucks. And he's not good. And it makes me, when I rewatch it, Val Kilmer is like the bad guy in it. He's the one, the antagonist. And yet when you watch it, it's like I kind of sympathize with the Val Kilmer character now, because he's the one that's actually a really good pilot and follows the rules. And he's actually like the guy that should be getting all the praise that Maverick gets.
But he's not.
But he's not. And so because this cocky little punk, Tom Cruise.
You know, it's funny, and I'm going to tie it to a different movie, musical, that you say that, because I remember I was watching Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat with my friends.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, just like in the middle of the play, is like, honestly, Joseph's kind of a dick.
Right?
He's just during the song, like,
wait a minute,
his, whatever fantastic coat, and he's
there's
like,
a
just
reason
bragging.
why they put him in that pit.
I was like, if I had Joseph as a brother, and
I'd
like
bury him too.
Yeah, I was like, he was kind of annoying back in the days when you could like bury your brother.
Did
and
you
be
see
okay
Days
with it.
of Thunder?
Yes. I'm sorry to say.
No.
Days of Thunder was the movie he did right after Top Gun. It's the same movie, only in cars.
Well, so is Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. It's the same.
It's the 80s thing.
Yeah.
The 80s, you had the douchebags that were in charge of
Becoming
everything.
good.
Look at Lost Boys. Look at...
Don't you touch Lost Boys. You leave that alone.
I love Lost
Boys is great. And did you see Lost Boys 2 and Lost Boys 3?
What?
I didn't even know those
there's a 2 and a
existed.
3. And yeah, that's 2 came out with Feldman, and then at the very end, Haim comes back into it, and there was the third one was supposed to be Feldman going after Haim being a vampire, because that was it. But then Haim died, and so they made it differently. But yeah, that was the original arc that they were going with. But yeah, there is a 2 and a 3. I'll let you borrow
I'm
them.
gonna have to go find... Okay.
Yeah, I have them.
Okay. Bring those back with Punch Drunk
Done.
Love. And then my movie that you have to watch is Eulogy, because I'm pretty sure you haven't watched it.
Eulogy. All right, well, we'll get to that part. We'll talk about movies.
What is? Sorry, we'll get to that. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jim.
Yeah, you're fine.
What are like some movies, like, I guess for you, because you grew up in the 80s and you remember, what movies that have been made into sequels that you're just like, is this the one that you're like, why are they doing this? Or are there other ones?
Well, there's a lot of them that I because that's all they're doing now is the sequels or the remakes.
Not remakes, just like sequels to an older movie.
Well, they're bringing back TV shows too, doing kind of the same. Some of it works, like Murphy Brown didn't, but apparently I don't get it. I don't know why but at least they're not bringing back like Cheers. They're not bringing back Seinfeld. They're not bringing back.
The reason why they're doing it is because Star Wars worked.
But there's so many people pissed off about Star Wars.
I know,
too.
but it still makes.
I love
it's still
them. I love
like
the new Star
regardless
Wars.
of what you think about
I like
it.
the original trilogy, and that gets people all pissed off.
Well,
not the. I mean the 1, 2,
prequels,
and 3.
The prequels,
I thought they were fine.
Despite what you think,
They're kid movies, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. It really makes people upset when I remind them that it's a children's story.
Well, George Lucas always said that the movies that he created were for 12-year-olds.
Yeah, and these people are all ticked off. They're like, "You like Jar Jar Binks?" When I was 12, I would have loved him.
It's true, and I did love him.
I forgot to bring you that lunchbox.
Yeah.
So, but that's like kind of the Disney's doing all these remakes because Star Wars, everyone loves
money.
like the time lapse, like bringing back the old characters.
Right. Well, that's why I think in an 80s movie that was remade was Dredd, and they did it right.
What a transition!
Because the
We're getting
original,
so good at this.
The original Judge Dredd was Sylvester Stallone and what's his name? Freaking Rob Schneider is garbage.
Wait, Rob Schneider is in Judge Dredd
with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah,
does he yell? You can do it.
This is before that. This is before that. But he is the guy that is with Judge Dredd. And it is terrible, terrible, terrible film. And then they've remade it with my favorite new guy, Alex Garland, that did Ex Machina and did Annihilation. He also wrote 28 Days Later. He wrote Sunshine. This is one that he also wrote.
We're getting a lot of Alex Garland.
I love Alex.
20
Garland.
weeks. We've seen what, 4 Alex Garland movies?
We saw Sunshine.
We saw
Annihilation. Ex Machina. No, did I pick Ex Machina? I don't think I actually picked that one. We just talked about it a lot.
You picked that one.
I think that was the week you left, actually.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, well, that doesn't count. I was on hiatus.
No, you picked that one because I watched it.
Yeah, no, I picked Phantom Thread the week I was gone.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, there's like 4 movies that we've seen.
I love Alex, and I also, there's a couple of the new guys that I liked. Also, the guy that did The Favorite. He also did Killing of a Sacred Deer, and The Lobster. Love that guy too. Just, I like what I like.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Dredd, and it's okay, you guys can take your side of it, but I think that this is the kind of movie from the 80s they should be remaking, one that was done incorrectly in the 80s, that now they brought it back and did it very correctly, and it was a fun 90 minutes rather than a terrible, garbage Sylvester Stallone cliche saying lines for no reason 80s version. Dredd, the new version, was fantastic. But I'd love to hear why you guys didn't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I'll start with this. I'm enjoying doing all these older movies because, and I was telling you when we were walking in, is that they're all really cheap, digitally purchased.
Because nobody watched them.
Yeah, so like it was on Vudu today or yesterday, and it was only $6. And I was like, I got it, or I could rent it for $4, or I could buy it for $6. So I was like, well, I got to buy it, so
it's
I bought
a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't go to McDonald's this week, whatever.
It's a banana.
Right?
And so I bought it, and I sat there. The only thing I didn't like is that it was hard to tell who was fighting who. Like when the judges at that one scene of the movie, when they're all fighting,
start showing up.
I couldn't recognize who Carl Urban was.
Oh, see, and I could just see his mouth, his dreamy mouth, and I just know it's him.
Which is impressive, that the fact that he actually went the entire movie with the helmet on. Like, it shows like who he is as an actor, that just kind of
doesn't need his face out there.
Which I thought was pretty good. The last hour of the movie, where the action is the highest, I was glued to the TV.
There was a lot of death.
Oh yeah, so much death. I was waiting for him to become like some super mutant thing, because they kind of hinted towards something at the very beginning of the movie with the one his partner. She's like
mind read.
She reads through the screen, is like, or whatever.
He wants to shoot you. Not anymore.
Like the one way mirror, and she's like, "There's a person there," and then she's like, stops her.
Right.
I was like, so I assumed that there was something more to Dredd's character, or and they didn't really go into that afterwards.
And again, because I don't read a lot of comics, but I do know a little bit about this comic, just because like this one and Spawn, there's a few of them that I actually did follow. The reason why and this one actually, just because of the fanfare of it coming out and nobody watched it initially, it kind of bombed at the box office, which is why you can buy it for $6. But the actual fan base behind it actually almost got it a sequel, just because of all the people afterwards that went, holy crap, because you hear Dredd is going to get made and they think Sylvester Stallone. And even when I tell people Dredd is this week, they're like, you mean with Sylvester Stallone? And I'm like, no, they actually made a really good Dredd. It's a basic ripoff of, you ever seen The Heist? It's Japanese, Chinese film, Korean film, something like that. They made Heist and The Heist 2. I own those as well. Yeah. And those are excellent. It's just basically about a cop force that gets into a building, and they got like a video game, get to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was essentially, it was like Mortal Kombat.
That's what it was. Get to the top.
Just literally just kind of
then
level
as you got
by
up,
level.
the levels went up as you went higher. You get less ammo.
Harder and harder.
Harder and harder, less ammo.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I do have to admit, the last 45 minutes, I was intrigued. I was pleasantly surprised. But the story arc at first just really kind of like threw me. I was like, are we going to explain just all?
No, they don't.
They're just super drug lords. Like, is that what it was?
All of a sudden, this adorable young little woman who has powers,
who shouldn't be on the force,
who should not, but she's thrown in there. I don't know. I think there could have been something a little more done.
And that's
with
what
her character.
normally if you watch a movie like this, they would have spent the first one doing a backstory of it, and that's where I like it, because there is no backstory. They just jump into it, and either you get it or you don't. And I
like how it ended.
Yeah.
When it ended, I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
And I like the fact that the drug that they're on makes time go slower, and they kept throwing people off of, because the tower has the whole center of it open, and so when people would get thrown off, it would just, everything would slow down, and the dude's just high as hell going
just gone,
just knowing that he's dead at the bottom.
That last scene with you said her name, Cersei, but Lena Headey, there it is. Where she just splats at the bottom at the very end of the movie. I had to look away. I didn't watch that part.
There was some good gore. There was a lot of, like, when his throat gets
Oh, when he like
he snaps
with
the guy's
the
throat,
gun,
and
yeah,
he was
with
like,
the gun.
choke on this.
Yeah,
and
and
like
you saw.
It has the cheesy one lines and the cool death scenes, and I'm like, and is it a good like? Is it one of those films where you're like, you got to watch the story? No, this is one of those that you can be doing something else and you just look over and go, oh.
It's almost like I wanted to compare it to John Wick.
Yeah.
But
John Wick
and
has more story.
The John Wick has a better combat too. This is mainly guns, whereas I feel like guns isn't as it's a lot easier to get away with than with actual like hand to hand combat, which John Wick had, and that's probably the reason why a lot of it, like, I liked Dredd, but I didn't love it like you do, and I think that's part of the reason why is because it was kind of a lot more visual noise than it was actual. I didn't really care as much, but I enjoyed seeing it.
But it's one of those cool ones that you own now for $6.
Yeah,
and when you got friends over and they're just like, hey, like, wow, you got a small.
You just need a bloody.
Yeah, like something while you're
for an hour and a half. Here you go.
You can talk to your buddies while it's on.
It's an hour and a half.
And it goes quick.
Yeah, which was nice. I didn't have to spend my entire day watching it.
So my main question is, why did Asshole have bullets that could pierce armor, but
nobody
Dredd
else did?
didn't?
Yeah, well, you gotta have you gotta have the bad guy that has an unfair weapon.
Advantage.
That happens. That's just
the fact that he was.
But
like,
then he just like stapled his tummy and like, okay, let's go. And I was like,
Did
wait,
you call it a
should
tummy?
be dead. His tummy.
His tummy.
That's what Dredd called it.
Yeah. Well, I wish you guys.
I gotta get the metal pack into my tummy.
Oh, Urban. What you got to do is watch the first one now with Rob Schneider.
Did you know that
Dredd
the TV series is in production?
Oh, they actually they got. Is it with Urban?
No, I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah,
but they're producing a.
Well, I knew that. I told you there was a whole big uproar about it, and they almost got a sequel made just from fan mail.
Yeah.
So the fact that doesn't surprise me that they turned it into something.
Well, it didn't make much money either. It was very $15 million, $13 million total.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
how much did it take
I don't
to
like.
make?
Let's check that. Huh?
I don't like it when people say that they lost that kind of money and they'll show these big losses because it's not true. Because, maybe initially they lost that money, but after it goes to HBO or Stars and then it goes to TNT and then it goes to regular TV
Want to know why?
bins.
You want to know why it didn't make Dredd 2?
Why?
Because it cost $50 million to make.
It's
and it made $35 million worldwide
in the box office.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't talk about
if you're
DVD
making
sales.
$35 million worldwide and then you manage to get $100 million afterwards, then you're probably doing a really amazing job. But I doubt that's what happened.
I know,
I bet they lost a lot of money.
I don't think I think at this point they probably broke even. I really
Hopefully,
do.
I hope so.
I really do.
$50 million is a lot.
Eventually, they keep selling it to enough people in enough markets. Eventually, they get their money back.
And the issue. And that was back when, $50 million was a lot of money.
Yeah.
This was like, what year did this come out? 2012? 2012 is when it came out. So, I guess in the middle of it. But, yeah. I have a movie that I want to talk about that I saw this weekend.
Which one?
Oh, boy.
A movie that surprised me when I saw the Rotten Tomatoes critic score. It is currently fresh on Rotten Tomatoes at an 82%. So, I had to go see it. Just because people enjoyed it.
Certified fresh.
Dora the Explorer.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna take my kids to that.
I went and saw that because it's 82%. I had to see it. Like, why is it so high?
Okay.
And
well, it's because of children. There are children's
There's
movies.
children's movies,
but the adults are the ones that are rating it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it is meant for kids.
Really?
Kids can go watch and they can have fun with it, but I think it's designed for
this swipe or no
more
swiping
PG.
means something else.
There's a butt
heavy
scene in the
petting.
movie. I'll just say that there's a butt in the movie.
Okay.
There's a bum, a naked bum, and it's not a monkey.
Yeah, no, it's not a monkey. Well, there is a monkey.
There
It
is
has
It's not
a
her
bum.
uncle.
No, it's not her.
Thank
It's not
God.
Michael Pena. But I will never see it again. But it was a lot funnier than it should have been. It plays into the fact that the actual animated TV show, which I remember watching as a little kid.
Oh God, you're not that much older than my children.
Right?
Yeah, he's
And
not.
I remember watching as a kid, and it kind of starts off as the animated movie, and then kind of like fades into it, and it's just her and her cousin sitting in a cardboard box Jeep. And it's just like, it's like her in her mind and her cousin like that. Cute. So the animated movie, the TV show actually happened in her mind. And then she grew up in the forest with her parents. And then her cousin goes back to Los Angeles to go to school. And she gets raised up in this forest, living in this imaginative like land in her brain. And then when she's like 15, her parents go on a secret mission. And she's got to go live with her cousin. So she's lived in this, and it's basically like a fish out of water like movie for a good like 30 minutes where she goes back to high school and she's got to like figure out how to be normal.
Are you really trying to sell
like
me this movie?
Mean Girls?
It was.
Is it like Mean Girls funny?
Essentially,
or?
It was like if you watched
Dora the Explorer.
If you watched
I hate you.
Wonder Woman, if you watch Wonder Woman, you know how like when she goes to the real world and like there's just certain things that don't click with her,
right?
Because she didn't grow up
kind of like Mean
knowing
Girls.
that. Yeah, I don't watch Mean Girls, so I wouldn't know.
You can't sit with that.
That's another one on your
What about
list.
Bridesmaids? Have you seen Bridesmaids?
I haven't seen Bridesmaids
oh my
either.
Goodness.
So
See?
it's kind
This
of
is why
that
we
fish
do
out of
this.
water
Mean
thing.
Girls
Wear
is
pink on
actually
Wednesdays.
funny.
So I know
Yes.
all the quotes, but yeah. So it's kind of that kind of humor, and then like they get abducted and back into the jungle, and then she's got to like save her friends and save
With
her
her
family.
backpack and a monkey.
So
Make out with a monkey. To
exactly,
Swiper, no swiping.
So she was adorable. I mean,
Swiper's a fox.
yeah, Swiper is a fox,
Boots is the monkey.
which they're both in it, both animated.
Quiet, Emily.
They're both in it.
Emily's trying to save it.
And it was better than it ever should have been. I'm intrigued. This week has two movies, or these last two.
Let
weeks.
me you
Go
talk
ahead,
about
go
what
ahead,
you
go
watch.
ahead.
So
Sorry.
let me tell you what I've been doing this
Okay.
week, and it's driving Emily crazy, and she doesn't understand. I am going through
All of them again.
all the Marvel
He was
films
complaining
in
about
order.
superhero movies,
Wow.
and now
I'm watching them
I've
in,
watched
them
in
all of
not
them.
as they were released, but in the timelines
Okay.
that it came out. And I just finished Thor last night, so now
So what? Yeah,
now it's Avengers.
The first Avenger, then Captain Marvel.
Yep, I've been doing it like that. And she's like, but you're not even a big fan of these movies while you're doing it. I'm like, well, now I have to watch all of them in the way that they were released. And so then once I get through them all, I won't have to watch them again for a few years.
Yeah.
And she's like, so then the credits are on. She goes, well, why are you watching the credits? And I'm all, I have to watch the after scenes
Yeah,
too.
of course.
Who does that? I'm like, I'm going to finish it. And then I'll probably go back to, I
My
don't know,
18-year-old daughter makes me sit through all of these.
Well, I'm going through them in order. So that's what I've been doing.
That's impressive.
And I'm going to finish all of them, and then I can move on, probably go watch the Lord of the Rings extended cut trilogy again.
course,
and,
yeah.
I just what I do.
That's awesome. I have all of them too. Like,
Yeah.
and every now and then, before the next one comes out, I always like to just kind of
Brush up. But now
But
that
it
they
gets
finished
so
them, but now
hard.
that they finished the whole
like saga
before
like,
the new
series
the
goes.
new ones come out, I have all of them to go through now.
Yeah.
So
Which, and to your benefit, they're slowing down the movies.
yeah,
so
I'll have time.
Yeah, you have. I think over the next 3 years, there's 5 that's coming out instead of
Which
7.
is what I've been saying all along. They need to do rather than one a month.
Except for they also have TV shows
Well,
coming
yeah,
out in
that's
between
true.
those. But
That's
that's fun.
So that's what I've been watching.
Did you watch anything this week that you want to,
This week, I
or just in general, something that
you
you're
guys
really excited
already
about?
just talked about it, so I don't
What
even
did
get
you-
to talk
Dora the
about
Explorer.
Dora,
it. Hell no.
The Boys.
Oh
The
no,
Boys
my
was
husband
great.
watched The Boys without me,
finished it.
So
so
good.
I didn't get to see that one yet. I finally got to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
okay.
and
Did you
my
like it?
panties were wet. Loved that movie.
Because you spilled your
Yeah,
drink.
drink,
You spilled
right?
your-
Yeah.
You spilled your drink.
Soda. That was a
course.
sticky situation.
Very
Such
sticky.
a good movie. Oh, sorry, yeah, it was a little loud. Such a good movie,
It
though.
was
I was
fine.
so impressed. It's still not Kill Bill, which is
No?
still my favorite.
Kill Bill's your favorite.
Kill Bill's my
Okay.
two favorite. The two.
It's only one film.
It's one.
It's one
And
film.
then Inglorious Bastards, and
Okay.
this one's right there with that. Just
Okay. No, I agree. I mean, everyone has their
I-
favorites. I don't tell anyone what
I
movies.
didn't. Now, one thing with me is I didn't get all of the hidden parts like you did.
Right,
Like
me too.
I didn't. They just kind of flashed over me. I understood a lot, but I'm not like a total like go
Nerd.
pay attention what's going on in Hollywood person. I really
Right.
don't give a flying.
Well, that's a lot of people that they didn't know anything about the Sharon Tate
Yeah.
murders, and they're all like, "Why is she even in this?"
Yeah, exactly. I said it last week. Is I literally didn't understand why she's in the
and you
movie.
go read about it, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
Right.
Yeah, I was so
So-
much smarter than I thought
I'm
it
one
was.
of those weirdos who can't handle being in a theater because I
3
need
hours?
a blanket
Yeah.
and a hoodie
Right.
and a pair of slippers.
Yeah.
Well, you should go
because
to
I
the AMC.
freeze. I freeze.
Yeah.
So I have to have a lounger, and then I take like half my house
You're my sister.
so that I can handle the temperature inside. So I tend to watch movies at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to just I prefer to buy them in DVD.
Yeah, me too. I like watching
Yep.
stuff.
Because I like to watch them on
because
my
I have so
Blu-ray
many, so many
player.
discs that I can't do anything with now. I like having them on hard drives.
We were talking about that before you walked in. It's like now my entire family has this conglomerate of movies that they just kind of buy things and just have things on there.
Share it. And,
No, I have probably about 500 discs.
Oof.
Yeah, me too. I
tough.
got 'em. I don't know what to do. I'm at this
You
point.
got 'em, you can't
so I don't
move.
really watch them much anymore. And so now I want to find a way to take them from discs and put them digital.
You do it Voodoo. I was telling her Voodoo does it. It's not as
You have
because
to pay.
Disney doesn't allow it, and some other companies don't allow it. But if you have the Voodoo app on your phone, you can they allow you to take a picture of the back of like the casing. So if we're using Punch Drunk Love for an example, wherever the barcode is, you take a picture of the barcode, and then if the company allows it, you can
stream it.
You can purchase it for like an extra $2.
Oh, that's cool.
On digital, and then if
Some
if
of
you
them
bought
come
it
with both. Yeah.
yeah, and if you buy it like the DVD,
the
but
new
you
ones,
but you
can
want it like the HD quality version, you can upgrade it for like $5.
Well,
So-
I got a lot of because I buy the Blu-rays now, and a lot of them come with the digital download.
But like
Okay.
if it was like back then, like for an example, my dad had Grease at his house, and I was just trying to see if this could work. So I took a picture of it, and they had the regular DVD version of Grease, and for $5 we were able to buy the HD version of
That's cool.
Grease. So if you're in the same situation where you're wanting to kind of switch everything over,
So I'm
Voodoo.
looking at the movies that are coming up that I know you were about to pitch something, and
Yep.
I'm very curious now that I see what's coming out. I'd like to know which movies that you were going to talk about that are coming out this week.
So another movie that is surprisingly high on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
And it's probably
Besides-
probably the one of the biggest jumps that I should do some research to find out like sequels that were rotten, like
It's getting
poorly.
good audience score
It's
too.
44. The original, and I watched it this weekend as well.
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds.
Shut your mouth.
Angry
Really?
Birds 2
Is
is
that-
getting a theatrical release, and it's getting good ratings.
Yeah.
Can I gag?
Yes.
Yeah, you
8
can.
times?
So the original movie, Angry Birds 1.
I tried to watch it.
I watched it this
Terrible.
weekend. I fell asleep, but I had to watch it because I'm seeing it again. I'm seeing the new one on this weekend.
Of course
And-
you are.
And
But
It's
you
got a
don't have time
72.
for top.
yeah, and the first one,
Yeah,
the
he's
first
got
one,
priorities.
yeah, right. The first one is a 44% Rotten Tomatoes and a 46. So not even the audience
Yeah,
liked
and
it.
how it got a sequel? How it got a sequel?
It didn't make much money. But the new one, Angry Birds 2, it's sitting at 72%, like you said, and like mid 80s in the audience score. So people that actually went and saw the movie
Are loving it.
Yeah, they're enjoying it. So I have to go see it just because I've been burned by a lot of the animated movies this year. I haven't.
You got to stop bringing lighters with you.
It's true. I haven't seen.
Get it? It burns.
Yeah, it's rough.
Rough.
So yeah, that's a movie that's coming out this.
And Good Boys is also coming out. And I just recently started seeing commercials for Good Boys. and
it's an odd.
it's a raunchy young kids
Little
version
kids.
of, little kids raunchy rated R
Yeah,
young kids.
I'm not too keen on that one.
Well, I
being
mean-
a mom of 4, I'm just kind of like, I
Well,
have
my
3
kid's older
teenage
now, so-
boys,
Yeah.
but still, 3 teenage boys talking about this.
These aren't even
crap.
teen. These are
No, they're
preteens.
These are
10.
like they're 10 years.
and
Yeah, they're not
11
even
years
preteens yet.
old, and they shouldn't.
And
I mean,
we'll
there
see.
needs to be
We'll see.
some sort
I
of
don't know.
The other-
responsibility.
We'll see. I'll watch it.
The other
I'll let
movie
you
I'm
know.
seeing this
Excited about
weekend, I'm seeing Blinded by the Light as well. And
Okay, now-
that one's the other one that's getting some positive.
See, now I want to go
buzz.
see Scary Stories.
Okay, maybe we
I
should all see
kinda
these
wanna
and
go
come back next
see
week.
that.
And
Right.
Yeah, Scary Stories to Tell in the
Scary
Dark. That's the
Stories.
one I want to see.
Yeah.
For the art alone, and
Yeah.
it's what's his face, right?
The costumes. I was looking at behind the scenes for the costumes. The way
Guillermo
they
del
did
Toro.
it. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Isn't it
Really
incredible? I mean, he copied the books.
Yeah.
Like I actually posted the behind the scenes on the Kineto Pictures.
That's
Kineto
gotta-
Pictures. So where do we find, just real quick before we start wrapping up, where do you find Kineto? Is it just online, or like if they want to hire someone to do their...
Right now, it's Facebook. Our website's under construction. We just did a whole
Re-up.
logo, which God bless him. I don't know why he picked me to do it, but I got to do the whole Lego revamp. So we have some rebranding that we
Cool.
need to do. It's just like anything when it's your own company, it's the last thing on the shelf. So it's been like 7 months. But we'll get there.
Good.
Right now, Facebook page, Kineto Pictures. Most people know how to just get a hold of
Yeah.
us. They have our
You
cell
guys
phone
are always
numbers.
working, so that's cool.
Yeah, we got a good word of mouth.
this week.
Oh,
No,
must be
I don't get to
nice.
go back. For a while.
we're in Florida, but I'll be back next week if you want to grab lunch.
I think I get to go to North Carolina in September.
That sounds muggy.
Film some trucking companies. You know what? Those truckers, they're fun to film. They're like the most true blue people behind the camera, and it's like it's the best. They're awesome behind film. I would rather work with truckers most of the time versus actors.
Hey. Oh.
I'm right. Good old truckers.
Oh.
Russ, you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's talking about you, my stepdad, Russ.
Oh, does he drive a semi?
Yeah, he
Drives
drives semi.
Yes,
That's
he
awesome.
does.
So
Like his dad did.
Yeah, we did some stuff for Pride, and we did some things for Epic View. Epic View is one of our bigger clients. We did some pretty exciting training videos, but you know, it's
It's like
all
when you
a
leave,
learn
you're
and
like,
process.
normally when I watch training videos, I hate them, but that one,
it was very.
I was
Pretty
hooked.
exciting.
I feel trained.
Yeah,
Well-
know how to drill a drill.
Let's get into some challenges.
Next week.
I say
yes.
you have to watch Eulogy. Hands
Eulogy.
down.
Who's in Eulogy?
How do you watch Eulogy?
How do you
Oh,
watch Eulogy? What is Eulogy?
Throw the entire cast up because it is the only movie with Ray Romano that I
Ray
will watch.
Romano.
Zoe.
Deschanel.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Azaria.
She's a baby. She's like 17.
Ray Romano
in
was really
this.
good, and he just did one.
I liked
the
him
quick,
in
the,
Ice Age and this, and that's
The
big,
about as
I
far
think he was
as
in
I
Big
go.
Sick.
Big Sick. Yeah, he was.
He was so good in that
Oh,
too.
I didn't
Dad.
see that.
He's
I
Oh,
will
you
have to
should.
watch
That one's great.
Anyway,
that one makes me
Eulogy
cry.
Yeah,
is
that's a good
one
one.
of those lovely dysfunctional family movies
Okay.
where Grandpa dies and Zoe
Like they do.
plays the antagonist, where she comes in, she has to write the eulogy for her grandfather,
Oh.
and she's trying to deal with her aunts and uncles.
Aunts.
Aunts.
Did you
Yes,
say that with
it's
your pinky
aunt.
up?
I did.
Mhm.
And my
My
cup
aunts.
of tea.
Zing.
Kiss my ass.
Zing.
Anyway, so it's the dysfunctional family. You've got just about every issue with the family, including dealing with drugs and alcohol and grandmother trying to commit suicide.
Do they fly an F-14 up inverted over the top of their buddies so they can flip them off?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because then I'm in.
My favorite line in the entire movie is when it stopped raining grandpa. And I'll just leave it at
Oh,
that.
gross.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gross.
Okay. And Jim, what do you got?
All right, so I'm picking a movie called The Lookout. This stars a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. When he was trying to transition from TV to movies, he did.
I like him.
Yeah, and he's big
kind of
starting out. But
disappeared.
this is when it wasn't sure whether or not he was going to be a movie star or not, and he was just starting to make movies. He did Brick,
Yeah.
and then this was his next one called The Lookout. And the guy that put together The Lookout actually went on to be the writer of Logan, which was a big hit that James Mangold did. And this is an older one. It's 2007.
Okay.
And young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he has a disability, and he gets basically, I wouldn't say tricked into, but he gets talked into becoming the lookout for a heist.
Okay.
Ah. Oh, so they take advantage of his disability.
Yeah, this is disability.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
sounds like a
and
good
this is
movie,
when
actually.
I saw Brick. I went, okay, that was really good. With Ryan Johnson did that one, and then I was like, okay, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That was wow. Like I just seen him from Third Rock. I'm like, that was good. But then when I saw this one, and I actually saw, it wasn't just him being Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He actually has to do some serious acting in this one, and I was like, okay, this kid's gonna be.
He's amazing.
He's all, and then he went from there, and then he did Hesher. He did, which is another one I almost picked. Hesher has my favorite monologue of all time in it.
Better than the one from that ghost story?
And the monologue one, no, it's really good. He basically talks about how he lost one of his testicles,
gosh.
in a very positive way,
All right. I think that's one can be, I guess.
and it was awesome.
Awesome.
So look out.
Your binging of Marvel movies inspired me.
Okay.
This movie's on Netflix, so it's easily watched. I want to rewatch The Dark Knight.
Oh, you're gonna go Dark Knight. Okay.
That's
so,
a good one.
So just kind of, it's one of those movies, along with like Lord of the Rings, I'll watch at least once a year. I'll watch once a year, just to kind of remember how amazing, Heath Ledger.
See, that's just, I still see that as like a new blockbuster in my mind.
Yeah, and that came out in 2009 or
Such a good
2010.
movie.
So I guess it is old, but because I'm old, so I'm like, that's still like, what are you talking about? That just came out the other day. It's a
Only
huge,
10 years.
huge success. What are you talking about?
Good.
2008.
Huge.
So I mean, this movie that you suggested came out in 2007.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
Crazy.
no. I'm
Eulogy.
no, I was like,
I'll watch.
Eulogy's
Eulogy's
2004.
Wow.
Yeah, it's-
So we're actually getting older movies. But
older movies.
yeah, The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger. The greatest performance we've ever had in a superhero movie. Obviously he won an Academy Award for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those movies I always like to brush up on every so often. So yeah, you can find it on Netflix. So
I really
You
like
did
Rorschach
watch-
and Watchmen myself, but
Oh, I like The Watchmen.
you can also
You did
throw.
watch A Knight's Tale, though, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
Night-
of course, I watched The
geez.
Night's Tale.
I love that one.
Shut
You could
up.
you could throw. That'll be a conversation we can have another time. But you could also throw Logan.
Logan's so
for
good.
Logan's amazing.
for what's his bucket's performance in it.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's
What's
been-
his bucket?
Hugh Jackman. I couldn't remember off the top.
Huge,
Hey,
huge
at least you said
Jackman.
what's his bucket, not what's his
Yeah,
nuts,
what's
because
his-
that's what I always say.
What's that dude's name?
So
I guess look at that, man.
You
1
flew
hour.
through this
One
house.
hour.
It's an hour.
An
That's
hour.
what we do. And everyone, how are you going to talk for an hour? I'm like, I talks for an hour.
Why are you talking like that?
Shut up. Trying to make them stop talking about the Knight's Tale, or if they start talking about 10 things I hate about you.
I
Emily,
love that
we
one.
got
Jeez.
we got. Do you have
We just
the
watch all
outro?
Heath Ledger movies. I think
Do you have
we'll be
outro
okay.
set up?
Get that
Yeah.
outro ready before I start
Yeah.
talking.
We
Dr.
should
Pan-
have. You're
you
right.
need
We
to
should have
do
a
a-
Heath binge.
Do you need to intro your next week's?
Dr.
No,
Panassus.
we got
You talked a little bit about it at
Chelsea.
the beginning.
Chelsea.
but,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it could
Chelsea.
change. Allegedly, now it looks like we don't.
Who knows?
Maybe we shouldn't.
yeah.
We could just
we
get.
can't
You're
put
just
our
going to call
foot
me
in our mouth.
every
We could
Tuesday
get
and be like, what are you
Mario'd.
doing tomorrow?
We could get Mario'd.
Exactly. Like put our foot in our mouth. Just like it's like, oh, we have this person show up, and then like that week comes
Just-
up.
Have your phone on.
Here's Ted. All right.
Ted's up.
All right, and Emily, thank you so much, guys. See you guys next week.
Bye, Mom.